markets are still down. It's a challenging afternoon, I'm afraid. There is no dip to the market next couple of days, next month, in fact, ahead. Varun, how does September look like to you?
So it's difficult to take a very short-term call, but I know all I could say is things looking very bleak as far as the U.S. macroeconomic data is concerned. We have seen fresh troubles coming on the U.S. housing market, which led to the whole subprime crisis. I think till the time Fed comes with another round of monetary easing and probably a fiscal stimulus, that would probably create some kind of a floor to the global equity markets. Till that point of time, we would believe we could see some weakness in Indian market itself. We are looking at around 5 to 10% downside further from these levels, but I do believe that would open up good entry opportunities for medium to long-term investors.
You know, Varun, when Reliance dropped to 980, a lot of people said it's a good buy. Then at 940, people were saying it's a good buy. Now it's 920. So progressively, whoever would have invested in Reliance right from 1000 also has just consistently lost money on this stock. Is it just a stock to forget about for the short to medium term? I mean, don't look at it for the next 3-4 months. Let some clarity emerge. All this talk about it being an index leader and all that is all good. But the fact is, people for the first time are losing money. Andrew Holland from Ambit was on the show the other day, and he was saying that Reliance was not created for the purpose of making people lose money. It was supposed to be a wealth generator. Just forget this stock, you think, for about 3 to 4 months. Still, we know what the promoter is thinking, where the core business is growing.
I think that's a very valid question. I think last 4 to 5 months we have seen 5-6 very divergent acquisitions or stake buys that Reliance Industries has done. One is still not very clear what exactly the game plan is, and I think whatever acquisitions or stake buys have been done, they will take some time to deliver growth. And considering that the size of Reliance balance sheet, I don't think any of them is going to have a very material impact as far as the earnings of Reliance Industries is concerned. I think another important point is that if the DTC actually gets executed the way it has been talked about, there could be another 4 to 5% downside in Reliance earnings because of the going away of MAT exemption on SEZ status for the refinery. So that could potentially be another negative for Reliance in the short term. So we would tend to wait on clarity on DTC side, and secondly, as to what exactly the game plan in terms of future growth before we take a buy call in Reliance.
Do you have some kind of a sum of parts kind of a target on the stock, Reliance Industries, as of now, the businesses that we do have visibility and clarity on?
I think you down on it, but I just thought it was amusing. I never thought someone would say no visibility on future growth on Reliance for a company that was meant to just have visibility and more visibility. But 919 is what that stock is doing. MAT is another issue, SEZ is another issue. That 20% on book profits will also hit Reliance pretty hard if it goes through in its current form. Let's discuss the other end of the spectrum then, hotels. Of course, East India Hotels is down nearly 10% now. I guess a lot of people are now thinking that the open offer will not come through. Reliance is actually just a white knight. But you've got East India Hotels that's up, associated, up by 20%. A few of the other hotel stocks were excited in the morning. We're getting into the festive end of the year. Hospitality a good bet for just the remaining 4-5, just to play for a 4-5 month bet, you think?
I think if you look at the earnings of the hotel space, and especially the EIH itself, is a big disappointment in last quarter. I think if you look at the hotel rates in 2007 and 2008 and 2010, the room rates in most of the 5-star properties in Delhi and Bombay are still below the levels that we saw in 2007 and early 2008. As far as the occupancy levels are concerned, I think occupancy levels are back to those healthy levels of 65 to 70%. But I think till the time we have more clarity as to how the tariff levels are going to move, we would tend to stay away, especially with the kind of valuations that most of these stocks are trading at.
I keep asking this question to a lot of guests of late, especially with the market giving you this kind of opportunity. 200 points off, at least 200 off from the top of the rally. If you start looking at gradual entry points, gradual buy ideas, what sectors or what kind of stories do come to your mind, top of mind?
I think, as I said, we're looking at 5 to 10% correction, maybe Nifty at 5,000. At that point of time, most of the mid caps would probably have corrected a little more, maybe 15 to 20%. And at that, I think, would leave a lot of upside in quality sectors which we believe are going to outperform the broader economy. I would think banking and infrastructure are going to be the two sectors which should do quite well. We have a lot of mid cap ideas in that space, especially in the private banking space, and also asset owners in the infrastructure side, be it BOT, road owners, ports, airports.
Would you name a few infra companies? Because they tend to be clubbed together, and that's not how results or stock performances play out in the infra space. You have to be very selective, I guess.
I think yesterday that 11th 5-year plans, macroeconomic data came out, and we already done, added enough infrastructure what we added in the last 5 years in the 10th 5-year plan. So if you look at electricity generation, if you look at road players, be it IRB infrastructure, be it ILFS transport, or maybe people running airports like GVK Power and infrastructure, and a couple of people on the power generation side, I think the broader macroeconomic story on infrastructure looks quite good, and I think this year we are going to see that reflected in the earnings also. So you would be quite positive in that space.
Well, if the
As we speak, but the big boy, the one that we've been discussing a lot over, has not moved, still down 3% on Reliance Industries. Look at the spike in the last 15 odd minutes alone on the graph, but no spike whatsoever on the RIL chart. That's the reality of this market. Varun, what's your call? If you look at banking, I mean, that's the one space that really performed so well in the last 1 month. Bit of correction happening. But what's the call ahead looking at the whole interest rate scenario? We heard some economists there paring down their projections on the rate hike to just about 0.5% more maybe this year.
I think we continue to be quite positive on the banking space as a whole. I think we have just seen the first few months of interest rate hikes, and whenever in the initial phase is what happens, the interest rate hikes are passed on to the lenders while it takes time to come in on the deposit side. So meanwhile, we could see a little expansion in net interest margins also in the next couple of quarters. So I think from a shorter term and also from a medium term perspective, we believe there are a lot of mid-cap PSU banking names, mid-cap private sector banking names, and housing finance companies which have a good potential in the next couple of years.
What are your top picks? Would you like to name 1 or 2 stocks?
probably off the day's low then, I guess. Would it be?
The Dow futures?
Probably would be, I think. There's probably no other way to explain it. Europe perhaps maybe. But you will probably want to keep an eye out on, there's actually a lot of data points overnight. There's the S&P Case-Shillers Index also that's going to come out. The Chicago PMI is also due tonight. The FOMC minutes, more importantly, there's been a lot of talk about dissent in the FOMC, that they're not seeing eye to eye within the FOMC. So it'll be interesting to see what the FOMC minutes have in store. So it's a big night as far as global economic points are concerned. But nonetheless, it's been quite a spectacular pullback at 54.07 right now. This is a reversal of about 57 odd points from the day's low on the Nifty. Amazing. On the Sensex also, from about 17,820, we're at about 17,980, so 160 points. So that's quite something. Convinced about what you're seeing on the screens, you think, for tomorrow's trade?
I think in the short term, of course, the market is going to take its cues from what's going to happen in the international markets. I think what the broader market is waiting for is a new round of monetary stimulus from US Fed. Then, of course, there are elections in November in US, and I think that's a very big political timeline that the politicians in US would be looking at. With the kind of consumer data and the kind of housing data that has been coming up in the last couple of months, I think it will not be unreasonable to expect a new round of stimulus both on fiscal and monetary side.
Just looking at the constituents of this sudden up, that's a big story. RIL buying out a chunk in EIH. Varun, before we let you go, the one stunning part of the market this afternoon is the auto space. We'll start hearing from the companies in terms of monthly sales again. Already an outperformance, especially a stock like Tata Motors. Again, what's the advice for the next 2 or 3 months before the year goes out? Should you be buying more?
I think the kind of numbers, monthly numbers that these companies have been clocking in for the last few months, that gives a lot of hope and belief that the companies this year also they should be able to see 20% volume growth. I think we'll see the festival season beginning in another couple of months. I think from next month onwards, the numbers are definitely going to be stronger than what we have seen in the last 3 months. So I think with the kind of commodity meltdown that we have seen, that will also give some cushion on the margin side. So overall, I think most of the automobile companies are set for 20-25% earnings growth on a year-to-year basis, and I would still see some value left in most of the names.
Good speaking with you, Varun, as always. Thanks so much for your time. Varun Goel from KC Securities. The markets have pretty much closed out, and it's been the auto sector that's pretty much ruled the roost today. Mahindra & Mahindra is up by about 3%.